Welcome to the Nightmare update for Arkham City's difficulty mod, an overhaul that pushes every aspect of the game to be more challenging. I've seen players struggling with the original version, with some complaining it was too hard. So I went and made it much harder.
They all hated me.
And I've taken it to nightmarish levels this time. Just wait till you see some of the bosses and later sections of the game. The boss fights have been reworked to be more punishing than ever. Protocol 10 is actually dangerous. Enemies are much smarter and more relentless. You'll see more armored units, titans and lieutenants throughout the game. The mod also features some changes inspired by Arkham Knight. You'll move faster with boosted gliding and quicker grapnel boost. And you can unlock special combo gadgets, an important tool to aid you on your journey. There are many changes to the gameplay, for example shorter smoke pellet time and a smaller bat swarm radius. Some of Batman's animations are faster to suit the quicker paced combat. Multi-ground takedowns also removed, as it's an overpowered ability. This update for Arkham City's Ascension Overhaul is the perfect stopgap for anyone waiting on the upcoming Arkham Knight Overhaul mod, which I'm covering here on the channel. For now, there are exciting changes to Arkham City that I'm going to showcase in this video. This mod isn't about taking more damage, it's about rethinking how you approach every section. I've even overhauled a very tough challenge for the game, which we'll discuss at the end of the video. There are 3 difficulty levels to choose from when you start the game. We'll be playing on Chaos, the hardest of the 3, which really pushes the boundaries and tests your limits. There's also a 4th difficulty level you can unlock called Ascension Plus. This is New Game Plus rebranded, the final difficulty level with counter icons disabled. But for this one, we're playing Chaos difficulty. I'm also using the advanced launcher for improved graphics. Bruce Wayne is captured by Hugo Strange, and as you can see right from the get-go, enemies attack you faster. This bit's meaningless though, as there's no health bar. We say hi to Penguin, who tries to bully us, and our first fight begins. Counter windows are much shorter, and enemies can catch you off guard. But for me, this bit's still easy, as this is just the tutorial section. After dropping Penguin, which, let's face it, is tradition, we unlock the Batsuit and head for Two-Face. Just look at how quickly thugs take out Batman, and keep in mind these are the lowest level thugs. Thugs are higher in level as you progress through the game. We do a satisfying slow motion uppercut before entering the Courthouse. Now the Courthouse has a huge crowd of enemies, but most of them leave the Courthouse as soon as they see Batman. Let's adjust that. I didn't want to make every enemy stand and fight Batman, that would be too much, and I want the campaign to get harder as you progress. You'll see exactly what I mean later in the video. Right now, more enemies will stay and engage in combat, and there are a couple of rifle enemies. It looks like increasing the active count too much causes Two-Face to shoot you too early, before you can even finish all the enemies, so I've reduced the amount of active enemies a bit. There are still 6 more active enemies than vanilla, and Two-Face waits till you've defeated everyone now. Some of the physics effects are great in this game. I really like how the fences break when an enemy is pushed against it.
Objection.
We save Catwoman, and before we head to the church, we get distracted a little more by physics. I feel sorry for all the RTX 5000 series owners. In the church, we face Harley Quinn and have the dumbest fight. This is the Predator tutorial section, not much worth changing here. We save the hostages, and after a chat with Joker, we do the first few AR challenges to unlock the grapnel boost. Both the gliding and grapnel boost are much faster with this mod. Traversal in Arkham Knight satisfying, in part due to how much faster Batman is, and I wanted to bring that over to Arkham City. We enter the steel mill. Arkham City lets you quickfire up to 3 batarangs at a time. I tested a limit of 2 quickfire batarangs, which is why I'm struggling to progress here. For now, I'm still sticking with 2 quickfire batarangs, but I do change the limit back to 3 later on. Straight away in the steel mill fight, I'm taking damage and have to be more mindful. I still shoot the back door though, making Batman vulnerable to a hit. Everyone has their own approaches for combat sections in the Arkham games. I prefer to avoid evading where possible and go for some variation. After the steel mill fight, we head to our first real Predator encounter. The enemies don't look threatening enough, so let's change one of them to an armored enemy. This now stops us from doing a double takedown. We do have to be more strategic when it comes to armored thugs, so I isolate this weaker enemy here then try to glide kick the armored thug. Bad idea. Somehow I managed to survive, and this is when I realized I may need to increase enemy damage in predator sections even further. I was spotted through the gaps here, which I didn't think was possible, and end up dying here. This time I isolate the armored thug and do a beatdown. Eventually it's these last two thugs left next to the hostage and I go for a glide kick. Usually you can just glide kick an enemy and batarang the other in the base game. That doesn't work here. On the next run I made sure to use the batarang on one of the thugs before glide kicking the other. We save the hostage and receive the ret gun. Another super slow motion uppercut. We head back to find Joker, and as you can see here, one of the twins have their own twin now. These guys can shred your health bar instantly. You have to be very careful around them. They also have much faster lunge attacks, though this attack isn't as damaging. I couldn't find the damage values for the lunge attack, but I'll elaborate more on that later. The lieutenants have more health than usual, but we play it very safe by taking out the other enemies first and leaving the lieutenants for last. Before you ask why they are identical twins and why I didn't just bring in the other lieutenant, it's simply because that lieutenant never gets loaded in this area of the game. Clayface poisons Batman, which is when the story really starts to pick up, but I'm left wondering how this tape is able to keep this phone in place with a fall that big. We head to the GCPD to find Freeze, and I've upped the amount of armored enemies for this predator section. They cover both entrances, and their shotguns will take you out instantly. Let's unlock our first health upgrade. The first health upgrade usually boosts your health by 25%, but instead it's 12% with this mod. It's just about enough to survive one shotgun attack. Certain other attacks require even more health upgrades depending on how much damage it deals, so each health upgrade serves a purpose. We go for an inverted takedown here, but get caught and killed instantly. Then we have a more successful run and get an inverted takedown on an armored enemy. We interrogate the last thug before heading to the museum. The museum introduces us to blade attacks, which are extremely fast. We don't have the blade dodge takedown yet, but when we do unlock it, it makes blade attacks more interesting to deal with because of the much tighter timings. 2 quickfire batarangs is clearly not enough to unlock this Fiddler trophy. We'll try explosive gel.
I should head back outside and search for anyone who's jammed.
So special combo gadgets are an interesting feature in this mod. In Arkham Knight, free flow focused slow motion is no longer a thing, and you can use special combo gadgets when you fill your combo meter. Arkham City requires you to hit a combo of 12 to reach free flow focus, which allows you to use power gadgets in combat. What I've done is change free flow focus to now kick in when you fill up your combo meter. It no longer slows the game down or does increased damage, so now the power gadgets function very similarly to Arkham Knight. The ret gun and freeze grenade combos in particular now work exactly like they do in Arkham Knight. We have to destroy Penguin's communication jammers, but I was actually pretty stuck on how to approach this section, especially with how few gadgets I had available. I somehow survive here, but it doesn't really matter as I die moments later. I try to silent take down this isolated thug, but die again. Then I try to sneak my way in, and still get killed. I eventually go for a ledge takedown, which works. Then it's just the last 2 enemies and I take them out. Look at these textures, they look so blurry. I recommend anyone who plays this mod to install Arkham City Redux, a HD texture pack for the game. The only reason I don't have it installed for this run is because I'm actively editing the game files. We head to the subway for the final jammers, and this section was a bit tricky to strategize for. The vet gun no longer sends armored enemies flying back, so don't expect to knock them over ledges. It will drop them, but that's about it. After destroying the last of the jammers, we unlock the Bat's vulnerability. Oh, so that's what happens when we speed up the animations. We're going to have to revert this change. Dinosaur. Imagine making a password dinosaur. Let's change it. This is a very meaningless change, but I've changed the passwords around the museum. That didn't scare me. This does. Hi. Do you play Roblox? Okay, that annoyed him. Well, we're entering the pit using a Titan. Should be interesting.
It's initiation time.
Okay, we can't keep this change as it's far too buggy. I did like the idea of adding an active Titan before reaching the pit as a surprise for players, but we'll have to scrap it. We do still add extra Titans to the pit. This is only the first phase and I'm getting destroyed. I fixed the bat swarm. I've also reduced its damage output and radius. The next Titan's annoyed at us for taking out the first Titan, and he called his brother in for backup. I wanted this bit to be a callback to Arkham Asylum when you fight the 2 officer Titans at the end of that game. These Titans obviously do more damage and have more health than before. You get longer Titan control time with this mod, but using the shockwave attack will drastically reduce the control time. After taking out the family of Titans, we head to whatever the heck this area is supposed to be. We say hi to Tiny. Now it's time for the other one-armed twin and his twin. I actually did well on his first attempt and then used the retgun out of habit, which ended up killing Batman. This section kept kicking me. It was a struggle. But it turns out adding that second lieutenant wasn't a good idea here, as for some reason just attacking him can get you killed. Not sure why this happens, but we'll have to scrap this twin. Unfortunately, this particular lieutenant will have to be on his own. But I do give him a team of more dangerous enemies. I survived 2 hits here somehow, and have to really focus up to get past this bit. You have to be very careful about countering enemies near the lieutenant, because the game doesn't give you invincibility frames. The lieutenant can still attack you during encounters. We take out the thugs and meat freeze. Batman proceeds to torture him. Hope this doesn't eventually bite him in the back. I've added more shotgun and armored enemies in this section, and this is where it feels like Predator sections really ramp up in difficulty. I've greatly increased enemy perception and awareness, and they are much more aggressive now. Batman dies a few times, trying to work out a viable strategy. This one thug drops my health to the minimum. Somehow I survive. Not sure if he can see me right now.
Don't see me.
After saving a hostage, we interrogate the last enemy and obtain the disruptor. We say bye to Tiny and meet Penguin. I'm actually worried about how much damage he does. Okay, not a lot. There are very few instances where I couldn't find a way to increase the damage values of certain actions despite scouring through the game files, but I do have some surprises in store. Things are about to get a lot more difficult. So we meet Grundy. There were no damage increases to him in the last version of the mod, but now with the more updated modding tools and my improved knowledge of the game files, we've made it much more difficult. He does far more damage than before. He can take you out instantly. He also has faster attacks, granting you smaller dodge windows. Even the fire trail left from his attacks can burn through Batman. I couldn't do much about his health, since the boss is designed around taking out the generator nodes with explosive gel, but I have made it much harder to accomplish just that. After beating him, we say our goodbyes. But there's a third phase. The third phase is where it gets really brutal. You have to mash the button prompt 7 times per second to get past this. No, I'm just kidding, I didn't take it that far. His shockwave attack is usually just one slow shockwave at a time. I've increased the amount of shockwaves Grundy is capable of activating, and these shockwaves do major damage. Trying to dodge the shockwaves while attacking these generator nodes is very difficult. You have to really time it and look for the windows where shockwave doesn't appear. He drops his minions as well, which attack you faster than before, and also do more damage. It was at this point I decided to change it back to 3 quickfire batarangs. Trying to balance everything in this phase is a struggle. You can see how easy it is to die here, and after many deaths, we finally have just one generator node left and look for the window we need. Then Batman kills Grundy.
The bat versus the bird.
Penguin's rockets also do more damage and are much faster. It also caught me off guard how the rockets can hit you during a reset.
What's the birdie, Batman?
Penguin manages to make Batman seem like a pillow-fisted fighter. Freeze does a much better job hurting him. From this point on, Batman dies a lot more often in the game, but I don't want to bore you with the constant deaths, so I won't show all of them. Just keep in mind he dies a lot. We follow this blood trail to find Ghul. After Batman tries to reach the ninja regarding her car's extended warranty, Robin is forced to save Batman. So you probably noticed by now thug health is reduced a bit with this update. The thug health was originally meant to be just 40% higher than the base game, but I didn't really take into account the reduced strike damage, so thugs felt like they had far more health than they actually did when in reality Batman's punches are just weaker than before. Beatdowns no longer take as long, but since enemies do even more damage than before, and there are more dangerous enemy spawns, you still have to be very careful. As Batman gets closer to Rage, he realizes he left the oven on. Somehow none of these thugs notice the Batarang flying in front of their eyes. We have a tight combat encounter, and I've upgraded Batman's combat health further. Batman does an interesting counter-attack I'm not sure I've seen before. It's amazing how fleshed out these games are. I've added more jammer and armored thugs in this Predator section, which is right before we reach Talia. Obviously you can't silent takedown armored thugs, which is something I keep forgetting. We do a ledge takedown and have a very close call. We use the vet gun on a jammer enemy, making it easier to identify everyone. I assume I'm safe to head for this enemy here, but somehow I get spotted. The vet gun doesn't send armored enemies flying anymore, but it's still useful for making them vulnerable to ground takedowns. I use the Sonic Batarang to lure another enemy, then save the Doctor. After finishing this section, we head closer to the trials. It's interesting seeing the lunatic enemies from Asylum. They were actually meant to be enemies you fight in this game, but were scrapped at some point. Maybe they can be restored properly one day, who knows. We fight our first group of ninjas. Just look at how fast their blade attacks are. You have to be very careful with the timing to counter blade swipes. Batman sees his parents. They ask him to keep pushing forward.
You can hear me, can't you? You need to step into the light. Your father and I are waiting. We've missed you so much.
Your vitals, they're dropping. It's like they're in free fall. Seriously, Bruce, you need to tell me what you want me to do. What do I get Robin to do? You know, if you don't...
I'll make it.
Talia kisses Batman. Batman gets embarrassed.
Your face!
Batman tries to play it cool, and the trials begin. After completing the trials and proving himself worthy, he decides picking a fight with Ghul is a good idea. He has to make up for the embarrassing moment that happened earlier. The first phase starts off with sand enemies. They do a lot of damage and can kill you instantly if you're not careful. There's only 6 of them here, so it's manageable, but it will get a lot harder soon. The spectral phase has some slight changes. The blade attacks are wider, giving Batman just enough space to walk in between them, which is fun to do. Now we're onto the second half of the Rage fight, which is where the difficulty really ramps up. Usually there's 20 enemies thrown at you, this time it's 30. They have increased health, so each one takes more time to take out. This bit's really about being consistent and trying to take them out one by one. Just one mistake and you may have to start again. I take a lot of tries here, and you can see how much damage the blades do. If you decide to strike an enemy that's already heading towards you, chances are they'll hit you before you even reach them, and that is the main thing to be wary of, to get past a section like this. I tested with some explosive gel and proceeded to have a good combo here. I mistimed one of the blade swipes and end up losing the combo. The damage values for the charge attack and spectral phase couldn't be increased. I scoured the game files and couldn't find a way. Maybe it's possible in the future with updates to the modding tools, but right now, out of all the boss fights, these are the only few attacks that don't see a boost in damage. The crowd phase is still much more difficult though, so I'll take that as a win. Batman really thought that would work.
I've used the Lazarus Pit too many times.
After defeating Rage, we are introduced to Riot Shields, which you will see also does a lot of damage and gets me killed. The special combo gadgets are very useful for crowd control, and gets even better when we unlock the Freeze Blast.
No! Please, no!
Before meeting Freeze, Batman traumatizes Quincy Shot. He really likes traumatizing everyone. Freeze has clearly had enough of this and breaks the cure.
Order.
It's time for my favorite boss fight in the game. And I'm already dead. So his grenade attack is basically an instant death. He does a lot of damage now, his health has increased as well. Now he requires 10 different moves instead of 8 to defeat.
Data's ready. You're coming through now.
His field of views increased. I actually thought I was safe here for a ledge takedown, but he notices Batman and takes him out. He has much better awareness than before, able to notice Batman from afar and track his footsteps for longer. You have to really remember every move we can use against him. But I think we can take him even further. I've now removed his ability to track our footstep. What does this mean? It means it will be even harder to lure him into traps. Usually you just walk in a direction and he will follow that path, making it much easier to lead him into the takedown you're looking to do against him. But now, he will send his drones to identify you more often, and you'll have to expose yourself to him to force him into your preferred path. I try to disrupt his weapon here, but the shield times increased, leaving Batman vulnerable for an attack. The vet gun somehow doesn't hit the generator and gets Batman killed yet again. Freeze shattered all the windows. Hope I can still do a window takedown. You have to be very mindful of your approach. Freeze is smarter and has greater vision range. We managed to take out Freeze, but this distraction may have cost us the cure. However, we do obtain the Freeze Blast. This will be fun. Vale crash lands and we deal with the snipers targeting her. How did this guy notice me? Wow, snipers don't do a lot of damage. We'll fix that. We saved Vicky Vale.
What's going on with your face?
Why is she looking at me like that? We head towards the steel mill to find the cure, but there are more snipers in the way. Where is he looking? Let's see how much damage these snipers do. That's terrible. Okay, let's fix this. I've had to locate the sniper damage values on a per area and chapter basis to adjust the damage output. Now the snipers kill you instantly, which feels sensible as they're snipers. They also shoot faster at Batman as you reach later stages in the game. After entering the steel mill, you see Clayface on TV.
Ooh, I think I'm looking better than ever.
One of Two-Face's men is in trouble. We take out the Joker thugs and save the prisoner.
Help me, please.
We make our way out of it. That was a close call. Why does everyone I save keep attacking me? We're deeper into the steel mill. We're introduced to enemies that drop mines. Yeah, enemy vision is far greater in this mod. I've replaced some of the enemy spawns with more mine layers and some armored enemies. I think I'm safe to take out this thug. Let's batarang this enemy off the ladder. I see an armored enemy on his own, but not sure what the best approach is. I'm worried the vet gun will alert everyone. Let's try the window takedown. We just have to get out of here before I'm spotted. Or they've spotted me already. After somehow surviving, I accidentally mount this fence and die anyway. I tried the window takedown on the armored thug again, this time from a more convenient position. After a silent takedown, I used the freeze grenade on the last armored thug to keep him in place. Now we just take out the other enemy and we're basically done here. I'm not too sure how to get past the sniper. Do I just... Let's try the freeze grenade.
I've worked out how to beat the bat.
We take out these last snipers and finally reach Joker, who seems very depressed. He sends the Fate Joker in to fight Batman.
Give me your best shot.
I can't take anymore! You win! You beat me! Gonna cry?
After the Fate Joker realizes he's no match for Batman, he spawns in more Fate Jokers, but I fear Batman still won't realize Clayface is behind this. The first set of Jokers try throwing stuff at you. Eventually a lieutenant joins the fray. After some more battling, his brother and a Titan also joins. Out of curiosity, I did test swapping the lieutenant model with the Joker model. This was the result, a 6-foot tall Joker. He doesn't attack you, but you can counter him. I also tested a Joker Titan, who does actually fight you but T-poses a lot. Let's undo these changes and go back to normal. So for this fight, 2 lieutenants and a Titan spawn in. I've maxed out the combat armor in preparation for this fight, so I have 50% more health. It really is a difficult encounter. Using a special combo freeze grenade is a good strategy for crowd control. After dying a few times, we finally managed to control the Titan. Unfortunately, a couple more Titans spawn in, as well as a bunch of Jokers with knives and machetes. This fight just got much harder. There's a lot to juggle here. The blade attacks, the trains, the increased amount of enemies, the many dangerous mini-bosses, and just one of the Jokers is the Joker with infinite health, so you do have to watch out and not waste combo takedowns on him. He has to be saved for the end. After many more deaths, we finally make it to the last couple of Titans, and still die. You will die a lot in this section. Focus and patience pays off here. While I only have 1 HP left, I focus and very carefully time my actions and avoid getting hit. I finally take out the remaining Titans, and that's this section complete. Clayface conveniently subdues Batman and joins Talia, but before he can stop him, Protocol 10 is finally started. Now let's be real, Protocol 10 was always underwhelming. The first few times I played through the campaign, I had no idea the helicopters could ever attack you. I've increased their vision greatly, along with their damage output. For the first time, you have to actually be careful in this section. If a helicopter notices you, you'll have a hard time getting it off your back, as you can see here with this helicopter that's locked on Batman. And unfortunately for me, this is the one with the master control program. We eventually get what we need and head for Hugo Strange. Strange has a chat with Batman. I changed some of the guards to armored guards, but the change isn't appearing right now for some reason. I've given them more dangerous weapons such as stun sticks as well. Okay, one of the armored guards is appearing and they have a riot shield. Now more of them are entering from the elevator. I always use the quickfire backclaw out of habit. It just looks cool, but it keeps getting me killed. I die more times here, making mistake after mistake and getting punished for it. Why do I keep using a backclaw? Okay, we've taken them out. We head to Wonder Tower and head to the doctor we saved earlier in the game. And we just died mid cutscene. I died many times here trying to work out a usable strategy. My final strat was to get an inverted takedown on this enemy first, then ground takedown this isolated guard.
You should all be proud of your part in this. We are the solution this world.
From there I picked off the guards on the lower floors. The enemies in this game are much more likely to shoot the gargoyles in Predator sections, reducing your vantage points. This particular guard is obsessed with shooting that gargoyle though. After taking out the guards, we head up the elevator towards the top of Wonder Tower. As we get closer to Strange, we're greeted by a full group of armored enemies. Wow, even doing a takedown gets you hurt. As usual, you have to be careful, but this is basically Batman's last normal combat encounter in the campaign. We make it to the top and see an area full of armored enemies. I try a freeze takedown thinking it works against armored enemies, but I was wrong. I die a lot of times here, having to rely mostly on the vet gun to take out these guards. You can also use the freeze grenade and back throw them for a ground takedown. With just 2 enemies left, I use the disruptor on one of them and do a ledge takedown on the other. With all the enemies defeated, Batman finally meets Hugo Strange.
I, Hugo Strange, am your successor. I have saved Gotham.
I love how chill he looks. Rage butts in to express his disappointment. Batman makes Hugo kill himself. And then he gets Rage to kill himself as well. It's time for the final act. We have to save Talia. The snipers surrounding the theater aren't really tricky if you know the correct order, but of course you will die instantly if spotted. Batman almost did die here trying to take out these last 2 snipers in front of the theater. I'm surprised the sniper missed, but we can finally enter the theater. I've always loved how haunting this section of the game feels. It's a great setting that probably brings back memories for Bruce. Batman finally realizes the Joker was played by Clayface. Batman really is the world's greatest detective. It's time for the final boss fight, Clayface. His attacks are faster now, you can't even counter these strikes. Instead, you have to evade if you want to avoid damage. He can also take you out instantly. Also, you've probably noticed his health isn't going down. That's because his health scales beyond the health bar. His swiping attacks and cannonball attacks are faster than before. After dying a lot, we move on to the second phase where he uses even more moves. You can see how much faster the hammer attack is and how brutal it is. I'm so used to testing Clayface that I know his boss fight inside out. But even then I still die a few times because of these changes. His projectiles are faster and harder to dodge, and by this point of the boss fight, you probably have less bombs to run him into because of the higher health in the first phase. Eventually we do take him out, leading us into the final phase where he spawns drones. Clayface has the bright idea of spawning many more drones than before, all of which can rip through Batman's health instantly. The freeze grenade also does less damage to Clayface, making it feel like he has a lot more health. He shoots his projectiles at you even faster, which are also very damaging. The increased amount of drones made the special sword takedown move more satisfying to use. In the base game, usually the end of the sword combo takedown just hits air, but with these changes the sword is more likely to always hit a drone with each and every swipe. You really do have to concentrate. One mistake and you're starting the phase all over again. I died many times here. Sometimes a drone would just catch me off guard, or sometimes it was the projectiles that would snipe me if I timed my evades wrong. Being able to rotate constantly between the special combo gadgets and the sword takedowns is actually great here and adds to the fight. Eventually, after many attempts, we managed to defeat Clayface. Batman takes forever to finally drink the cure. Then Joker does the dumbest thing and stabs Batman, causing him to lose the cure.
That actually is pretty funny.
I love how Batman completely forgets about Talia. With the campaign finished, we unlock Ascension Plus. This mode obviously keeps counter-icons disabled, and it makes the game even harder than before. And for anyone not aware, Joker's Carnival is widely regarded as one of the hardest challenge maps in the Arkham series, and I decided to make it much harder. If you do want to take on the Joker's Carnival challenge, do record and share any successful runs you have. The mod will be out a few days after this video as we finalize the details and make any last adjustments. I'll upload more video updates for the Arkham Knight Overhaul soon. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. If you manage to beat this mod, you're built different. But don't worry, the mods are getting worse.